Hey guys, this is the Minds of Lilith, and thank you for joining me today as I take a deeper look into the most recent episode of Love and Marriage DC, Season 2, Episode 4. I will not be doing a full episode recap. There are plenty of other content creators who do a great job covering the show. Instead, I'm going to focus on specific segments of the episode that I believe could be used as teachable moments for myself and the audience. Before I begin, okay, I'm not trying to insult Big Jamie. I think Big Jamie or Jamie Sr. is an attractive man. But every time I see him, he reminds me of like the golden snub-nosed monkeys, the ones with like the blue faces and the pretty golden hair. The shape of his face reminds me of those monkeys. He's not an unattractive guy. It's just that I keep seeing that animal when I look at him. He resembles that monkey. It's not a bad thing. A lot of human beings resemble animals. It's not an insult. But anyway, last week I discussed how Big Jamie and Erana were having difficulties with their son Jamie Jr., who has gotten into some trouble with the law, and now he can't find a job, or he can't find gainful employment that he wants, right? And I said that Big Jamie was scared and frustrated for his son. And usually when men are afraid or frustrated or they feel insecure about something, they tend to get abusive. And we saw this happen with Martell and Melody. When Melody finally filed for divorce and Martell realized that he was losing his family, he went on the warpath, right? So when men get scared or they feel insecure, they usually don't cry or beg or tuck their tails in. They try to attack the cause of their insecurity or their fear. And this sometimes leads to unintended consequences that are painful or uncomfortable for the person who is the source of their insecurity or the source of their pain. And Big Jamie said that Lil Jamie told him that he was suicidal from the time he was 16 years old, which I do believe because Lil Jamie has been self-destructive for a long time. And this usually happens when someone's depressed or they have low self-value. I don't know what happened to him. I wonder if he went through a traumatic experience in school that he never told his parents about. And he's been like hurting himself as a cry for help ever since. I don't know, I'm just speculating. But I do think that Lil Jamie is depressed and he's spoiled, which is complicated to deal with as a parent. So Big Jamie feels, I don't want to say indignant or self-righteous, because he believes that he's done the best that he could for his son. But I did notice that when Big Jamie and his wife, when Jamie and Erana showed up to his sister's house, right, for the little get-together, Lil Jamie referred to his parents by their first name, and he called his grandmother Mama, right, from what I heard. And yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Jamie was emotionally and physically neglected by his parents as they chased the almighty dollar, just like everybody else in that community. Like many parents, Big Jamie equates financial support with love. And Ashley's mother alluded to the same thing. A lot of parents feel like their lives are so insignificant that they could easily be replaced by phones, cars, clothes, and shoes. They don't think that their attention and nurturing is valuable because in a capitalistic system, you're only valuable when you're spending money. So Lil Jamie's sister invites the family to her house, which is unusual for her. I wonder if she's a Cancer. And I can see how much, he and his sister love each other. Big Jamie is a hard-nosed, iron-fisted patriarch. And Lil Jamie, to me, is like a little sensitive kid that withers under his father's scathing gaze of judgment and contempt about his failures and his inability to cope with adulthood. So it seems like Big Jamie is more concerned with what he's done for his family as far as financial security rather than how he went about doing that. So yes, you provided for your children, but what was sacrificed in the process, right? What did you sacrifice for the sake of keeping up with the Joneses and making sure your kids had things instead of you? So I think that Big Jamie is misguided. But I do believe that his heart is in the right place and he loves his children, but he doesn't know how to deal with disappointment. I think that his harsh criticisms of Jamie being a bum is just him projecting how he feels about himself without his money, his cars, his houses, and his success. So I think Big Jamie would see himself as a bum. He's very hard on himself and he judges himself based on how much money he has and how much status and success he's attained for himself. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Big Jamie felt like he would be a bum without all those things, which is why he goes hard on his son, who doesn't value things as much as he does. So Big Jamie wants his son to have the same sense of values as he does, and little Jamie does not. I don't think he does. I think whatever Jamie values at this point has been artificially instilled in him as a product of his conditioning and his upbringing. So like the money, the car, the clothes, that's what makes Big Jamie happy. But Big Jamie expects little Jamie to be happy with the same thing, and he's not. And I think little Jamie's trying to figure out what makes me happy, what makes me feel fulfilled. The things around me, I have everything I want, but I'm still not happy. That can cause someone to be depressed and self-destructive. And so Big Jamie is imposing his will, his desire, his values onto his son, and his son is not cut like that. His son is a bit more sensitive and a more empathetic, or he's more of an empath. So I think that little Jamie needs the space and the grace to find himself in a safe, nurturing, and affirming environment where he's not judged for not knowing who he is, because he was never allowed to develop that part of himself because his parents imposed their will and their value systems onto him, and he was never really able to like figure things out on his own. So he became self-destructive as a cry for help, in my opinion. I'm not a therapist or psychologist, but I'm seeing that this is what is happening in their family. I do think that Big Jamie loves his kids and his family, but he loves the status too. Money is very important for him. And that's not a bad thing necessarily, but I find that for a lot of people who are really successful financially, money is very valuable to them. Material things are very valuable to them. And material things supersede everything else. Relationships, family, friendships even, it's the most important thing to them. Even peace of mind, right? As long as you have money, it's all good, according to some people. And I think that's the way Jamie and Erana operate. Little Jamie is not like that. Little Jamie is more heart-centered. I don't know what he wants to do for a living, but he's not like his parents. And his parents don't understand that because, again, their values are based on what they have. That's all they care about, really, how they see the world. What we have to show for our hard work, right? We got houses, we got money, we got status and esteem. We can floss with the cars and the clothes and the shoes and the parties and the clubs and the success. But on the inside, there's some emptiness there. There's some emptiness there, absolutely. And I think little Jamie is the embodiment of the emptiness that his parents have within them because they place so much value on external things, material things, right? Okay. Now on to Ashley and DJ Quick. So Ashley's friend gets into a car accident on the day of her party, and she's okay, which is great. But Ashley at some point has an emotional breakdown due to the pressures of having to juggle everything and cope with her own pre-existing mental health issues. So Ashley and DJ decide to meet with Big Jamie and Erana to discuss his statements about his son being a bum and, the fact that he was dismissing his mental health issues. Ashley tells the Tylers about her own problems mentally and why she was offended about his comments. And, to Jamie's credit, he took it in stride, but I could tell he was offended that his friend checked him about his behavior towards his son. And I feel like Jamie was more offended because he was embarrassed and not necessarily because he was wrong in a sense. To be honest, it looked like Quick and Ashley were more concerned about little Jamie's mental health than his parents. And I think it would be a great idea for her to talk to him about what he's going through, little Jamie, about what he's going through, because I think little Jamie has a wall up around his parents because his parents don't understand why he's so unhappy. It's like, you got everything you want. Why are you so unhappy? Because he's a heart-centered child. He's not a money-centered child. He's not as cerebral as his parents. Okay? And so his value systems are different. They have to find out what his value system is. What makes him happy? What makes him feel affirmed and validated as a young man? How does he want to show up in the world? Right? From the way I see him, his parents are always put together, groomed well, great outfits. They look nice. They always look the part. His son doesn't care about that. His son is very casual, right? I'm sure his son has nice clothes. His son is very, very handsome. So he can play up his looks if he wants to, but I don't think that that's what he values. He wants something more substantial in his life, besides stuff and things. And his parents don't have the language for that. They don't have the language to teach him how to value himself outside of the things that they buy for him. Okay? I will say this though. During the conversation between Quick and the Tylers, it sounded like DJ Quick was low-key sunning Big Jamie about his parenting. And sometimes the way he worded his statements sounded a bit judgy and not just constructive. And that's probably why Big Jamie tensed up a little bit, because he sensed that he was being judged. But at the same time, he judges little Jamie all the time. So he should be able to take constructive criticism considering the way he talks to his little son, Jamie, right? Okay. Next couple, Joy and Clifton. So Clifton purchases a beautiful home on the lake, and he and Joy are discussing building a life together. Something about Joy's face annoys me. She looks like one of the fake friends that I had as a kid. I don't know what it is. She seems like not a snake, but not grimy. Something about her face is off. But anyway, she wants a small ceremony, right? A small wedding ceremony. And Clifton wants something more bigger and grandiose. He's been married before. Joy's never been married. And I guess this is an issue for the storyline. Like, you know, they have to have something that they're arguing about that they don't agree with. There has to be some contention, some conflict that needs to be resolved for entertainment purposes. Whether it's real or not, I don't know. But they always create these dynamics between the cast members to make it more entertaining for the audience. So Joy meets with Erana and talks about Sherelle, I think her name is. Sherella, whatever. And at some point, Erana miscommunicates what is said. What Joy said. And that leads to a confrontation later on. Why does it seem like the plot line is always the same for these reality shows? Like somebody miscommunicating what someone else said and carrying the bone the wrong way. This happened with Kimmy and Tisha last season, Love, Marriage, Huntsville. This happens in just about every single reality show. One person says something and then they miscommunicate it to somebody else, right? There's a misunderstanding. Monique did this all last season with the entire cast. She was the bone carrier, saying things one way, and then it just confused situations and made them more tense than they had to be. I guess that has to happen for these shows, again, for the conflict aspect of it, to create friction and you know, so that people can give their opinions and they can choose sides and so on. So yeah, I don't think this is a real issue. They're just making things up for the sake of a plot line, but whatever. Now on to Ashley and Winter. So Ashley and Winter don't like each other for various reasons that are like immature and petty and stupid to me. It seems like their beef is contrived or exaggerated for the show. Like, why is Winter still even on the show? At this point, she seems miscast because she was Monique's friend. And now Monique's gone. So Winter doesn't really have a support system like that, or a strong character on the show that's like a main cast member. She's friends with Sherelle, I think her name is. I don't know. I forgot her name. She's friends with somebody. But that person is not a main cast member, I guess. It's just weird. So Ashley and Winter get into an argument during a group fitness session in a parking lot. Why would you have a fitness session in a parking lot unless, because of COVID, they were told not to have any sessions in closed quarters? They had to have some space between them for social distancing purposes and for what's the term I'm looking for? Air circulation. So they had to do it in a parking lot. I would have said, I'm not doing this. Sorry, this is bad ghetto. But they get into an argument again, and they tell each other they don't like each other. Okay, whatever. At some point, they walk away from each other, and then Ashley says that if I wanted to hit Winter, then she would be laid smooth the fuck out. Right? That's what she said. Something like that. Now, if I was Winter and I heard that, I would have turned around, walked towards Ashley, and asked her to repeat herself. And once Ashley repeated herself, I would have asked her, what are you waiting for then? If this is what you want to do, and I'm right here, what are you waiting for? Don't let the camera stop you. Please do what you said you want to do. Please lay me out. I'm waiting. No, that's a trigger for me because I don't like people thinking that they can threaten me because I'm little. Okay? That's not going to work for me. Yes, you have to deactivate your triggers, but do not walk away talking shit. Don't do that. Either say it to my face, right? Or don't say it at all. If I wanted to attack her, then she would be laid out. No, don't let nothing stop you. I'm right here. Don't be afraid. It's okay. Anyway, I don't know why Winter is still on the show. I guess every cast member or every cast needs an arch nemesis. But I will say that back to Ashley and Erana and Quick and Jamie Sr. The way that the conversation went at dinner, it seemed like Jamie and Erana did not like being called out in public by their friends, or they didn't like the fact that someone else noticed that they were low-key abusive and judgmental towards their son. They're very keen on public perception, as most people in that community they come from are. Right? It's about the biggest house, the nicest car, the most money, and so on. And again, Jamie Jr. doesn't fit in that world like that. That doesn't make him happy because he's had it already. He was raised with money, or he was raised in a comfortable environment. So those things don't have as much value to him as nurturing love and support and real, genuine emotional connection. I don't think Jamie Sr. and his wife are emotionally connected to their children the way that they should be or they could be. Because again, they compensated, or they compensated the lack of emotional connection with money. So that was an exchange. They sacrificed that for money. So I do think that Jamie and Erana love their children. I don't doubt that at all. The way they raised their son Jason, considering all his challenges, they do have the capacity to be loving and nurturing and supportive, right? But I think also part of it is that it's like, okay, Jamie Sr. knows that in society, you are valued based on the things that you have and how you look and your status. He wants his son to subscribe to that same belief system. He doesn't want his son to be a bum per se, or he doesn't want his son to be a failure, because he knows that in society, you're treated like crap if you don't have a certain level of success. And he's trying to protect his son from the harsh judgments of the world by judging him himself and saying that, okay, pretty much you're a failure. And I don't want you to be a failure. I want you to succeed because you're my child. I don't want you to have a hard life because of the poor decisions you're making. But his son is like, I don't just want stuff. I want to feel connected to a family. I want a family. I wonder if he's a Cancer. I don't know if he's a Cancer or not. But the way that he cries so easily, and just the way that his energy is, he may be a water sign. And if he is, then that would make sense that he would want a more nurturing, loving, and warm environment. You see the way that he looked at his grandmother. He called her mama. He called his parents by their first name. I don't know if it was because of the show, but it seems like he has a closer relationship with his grandmother than he does his parents. And he may not, I don't want to say not respect them, but yeah, he doesn't feel safe with his parents. That's the thing. I don't think Jamie Sr. was physically abusive, but he could have been emotionally or psychologically abusive with his intense focus on things and external validation and society, what society says is valuable, and money. That is also abusive to a child. If they feel like you're nothing, if they feel like you only love them because of what they represent as your kid. Like, you don't really value them as a human being, right? You don't see them clearly. You just see what they represent as a status symbol. Here's my family, like the picture perfect family, right? With the 2 kids or 3 kids and the big house. And that was his value to them as a part of like this whole package of the perfect family. And he felt empty in spite of all that. He felt like his parents probably weren't around a lot. Or they weren't around for him enough. They weren't supportive of him enough. So he started to lash out at 16, 17 years old. I wonder if something happened to him. I hope it did not. But he seems to be on a self-destructive path. And I hope that he can get that together before it's too late. Okay? But anyway, I'm going to leave it there. If you want to order personal astrology or tarot reading, you can go to my website. Look forward to your comments. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I will speak to you soon.